Right, there we go. Hello, everyone. Good evening. Welcome back. Welcome back finally to Greedfall. Sorry about last week. I had some student papers coming in, and I had some students who were notably and understandably panicking at the last possible moment before everything was due at 11:59 p.m. Monday. So I missed out on what would have been probably the ending of Greedfall. But that does mean that we are probably just kind of looking at where things are. There's a very good chance that we are actually going to finish up Greedfall tonight. That means that we need to talk to the Naughts. We need to talk to the Bridge Alliance for some reason. Much as I hate them, we do need to talk to them. We need to talk to the Coin Guard. We need to talk to the natives, and we need to talk to Teleme. So everybody, we need to try and get them to help participate and, unfortunately, take down our dear, poor cousin Constantine, who, again, we found out last time, is primarily or perhaps entirely responsible for the ongoing poisoning of the land and the gradual death of Enoniel Frictiman, the sort of god of the natives, this sort of pantheistic overspirit that manifests as the land and provides for its health and well-being and all of that stuff. All of those wonderful things, and seems to be responsible for the natives, and possibly the Nox, not getting the Malachor, like we Old Worlders do. So, by the look of things, we are going to have to stop Constantine from, as the thumbnail suggests, trying to become a god, and possibly succeeding, unfortunately. So it looks like we're going to have to wind up trying to stop him from doing that, and unfortunately that might wind up involving some degree of violence, because it's looking to me like either he has gone mad with power, simply and straightforwardly, and or he's possessed somehow. Again, another distinct possibility, just given that he's been dealing with a lot of these spirits of the land and such. And so it's still a possibility that he's under some degree of influence by all of this. Unfortunately, part of that is also keeping him alive, so it might wind up being something like we need to cure him of this, what is ailing him and afflicting him, but that also winds up meaning that he will die of the Malachor, so either way, it's not looking great for dear Constantine, which, man, I was saying at the end of last stream, one of the things I was saying near the end of the last stream, this is now 2 weeks ago, was that if it is simply Constantine gone mad with power, which seems likely enough, or even if it is the kind of baleful influence of these of any kind of evil spiritual entities and whatnot, he's certainly open to it. We saw from the beginning that Constantine was very he lacked a great deal of moral fortitude. He was very persuadable even from the beginning, and very prone to the kind of madness that this would lead that would lead on to this sort of thing. Unfortunately, so either he has simply gone mad with power, and it is out of a completely understandable but perhaps overwrought fear of death, and so went mad with the power to stop it, or he's given into this outside influence. I've been rereading, in fact, the Fellowship of the Ring, and there's a great deal of the internal struggle Frodo has with the ring that isn't portrayed nearly as well in the films, because it's very hard to portray that sort of thing. Elijah Wood and Peter Jackson and everybody involved does a good job, as far as they can, given the medium, but not quite the same as having the internal perspective of Frodo. And it gives insights to this sort of giving in to the temptations of power type of narrative. Anyway, so let's see if we can get the Naughts on our side. They are friendly with us, so hopefully.
I finally heard from my men. They told me what happened with the Devesps. Thank
Back to
you
this?
for stepping
Okay.
in and freeing them. Without your help, they would probably be dead by now. Anyway, believe me, those Devesp vipers will not cross this sea unless in chains.
Ooh.
But you didn't come here for me to congratulate you, did you? What can I do for you?
That's still a lot of power for an organization to wield. All sea travel. All right. I mean, everyone seems to be kind of okay with it. But it keeps a lot of people in check, if nothing else.
I have come to ask for your help, Admiral. My cousin has been plunged into madness, and he apparently wishes to conquer the whole island. He took control of many creatures by reenacting rituals he learned from the islanders. And now he uses them to attack the cities and the villages of those he considers to be his rivals.
A difficult situation, admittedly, but one that does not concern us. Who's in charge of the island is none of our business, Desarde, and you know that.
It actually does concern you. If my cousin takes control of the island, soon there will be no ports where your ships can burn. He's not looking for political influence. He desires power. Absolute power.
I see. It's a decent argument. So what now?
We must stop him at all costs. And for that, I will need allies. I intend to convince other factions to support me. But I was hoping I could count on the help of the Nords.
You can. My men aren't really used to fighting on land, but they will be by your side. You have proven time and time again that we can trust you.
Thank you, Admiral.
May the winds be in your favor, Desarde. You'll need all the help you can...
Alright then, that's good news. There we go. Wingard. Alright, hopefully we're in good with just about everybody. I don't think we are maximum... We've like maxed out our friendship with the Coin Guard, so I don't know how this will go. We did really help them with a significant problem, and we managed to solve it and we managed to keep Kurt alive and all that. But we'll see. It's another one of these internationalist factions with an incredible amount of power, without whom we're in a relatively precarious position. The best, maybe, I mean, at the very least, we can hope to, they won't throw in with Constantine. So if they throw their weight behind Constantine, I mean, it's unlikely given his particular sort of ambitions to godhood. Given his particular sort of ambitions, the Coin Guard jumping in with him does seem unlikely. But if that does happen, then that puts us in a very rough spot, because they are the single mercenary company that is solely responsible for basically all of the military activity of all three of the other major factions. Which, on the other hand, does make me think that they would be amenable to assist, but who knows? Let's see. Aside from us having helped them out a great deal. Wait for it. Wait for it. Oh boy. Huh?
Hello, Commander.
Lord Desarde.
Okay.
How can I be of service to you?
She looks like she got older.
I have come to ask for your help.
I'm at your service, Your Excellency. What is it you want from me?
We need reinforcements to protect the sanctuary of the islanders, north of the island.
Very well. I will send some troops there. But may I ask who or what they will be fighting?
Creatures in great numbers. And probably my cousin.
I beg your pardon?
As your men must have told you, he has changed a lot recently. Ever since he was cured of the Malachor and bonded to the island, he has become obsessed with power. He is now targeting the heart of the island. If he succeeds, we're all doomed.
I have indeed heard reports of the governor's peculiar behavior. Since he is our employer, I asked my men to turn a blind eye, but thanks to your help, we avoided dishonor. I won't forget it. If you're telling me that we are in danger and that we need to go to this sanctuary, we'll go.
Thank you, Commander.
Anything else?
Oh, okay.
I have to go. Goodbye.
I also have a lot to do. Until next time, Your Excellency.
That all went way easier and way quicker than I could have possibly expected. All right, let's do the natives next because we know we can help. We know they can help us. Bridge Alliance. Actually, you know what? No, let's go with the unlikely to succeed one next. Oops. Because I doubt the Bridge Alliance is willing to help us. But we can at least give it a try, shall we? Actually, let me see. Wrong thing. Oh, well, the congregation is suspicious, but, I mean, the Coin Guard helped us, and they're only at nice, not friendly, so they're not maxed out. So it's possible, at least, that the Bridge Alliance will help, too. And maybe, just maybe, they'll feel some kind of guilt for being responsible for inflicting the Malachor on Constantine in the first place. Now, that's unlikely, because that would require them to be human. Or at least, persons with moral compasses. Doesn't seem to be the kind of thing that scientists such as themselves have, but maybe I'm being uncharitable just due to the grievous horrors inflicted upon the world by scientism in the last couple of years. In any case, we still have reason to be hopeful, I think. This is quite the trek in the world. All right, here we go. To Hikmet. 22.5 hours journey. We don't have time for this. Let's switch out Vasco for Ephra. Alright, let's go. It is a good thing that Devesp didn't manage to stop the whole marriage to Constantine thing. I loathe to consider how that would have complicated matters now. That's an interesting thought. Surely she would have still been interested in marrying a would-be god. But, being a power-hungry, crazy person that she was. But at the same time, it also would have given her significantly more pause. Especially because the original plan was almost certainly to allow him to die of the Malachor. And then just take power. But I don't know. That's an interesting what if, certainly.
Your Excellency.
There's a lot of wrenches into things.
And to what do I owe this honor?
You should ask about... No, it doesn't look like it.
I have come to solicit your help and to propose we forge an alliance.
An alliance? Against whom?
You remember, no doubt, the attacks that fell upon Hikmet, but also San Mateus, and against the natives.
Of course. You told me that different guardians sent the beasts.
Precisely. And the guardians were manipulated by someone. I discovered who it was.
Oh, this isn't going to go
This
over well.
revelation will not please you, but I have no choice but to tell you. It is Constantine.
Surely you jest. What is the meaning of this? Do you know how many men have died during these attacks?
Allow me to continue, I beg you. My cousin's sickness shook him to the core. Then there was a ritual and his capture. and Constantine has fallen into madness. He has been increasing these rituals in order to link himself to the island, to gain power and manipulate its creatures. He is fighting a war against everyone, and it now appears he wants to take control of Tirfridi. He is preparing to attack the volcano sanctuary, and I need help to stop him. It is in the name of the congregation that I come to see you. Constantine betrayed us as well.
That's madness. It is complete madness. All of this superstitious nonsense. These absurd theories.
He's got a point.
I believed you sincere, Desarde. Which does not mean that I believe you now. But no matter. You are in need of men to stop your cousin who has already attacked us.
Precisely. I have already gathered support, but I need as many allies as possible.
Go and search elsewhere. You have already demonstrated your contempt. I
mean,
shall
that's
not
true.
risk the beard of a single man on your ranting. And be happy that I do not declare war on the congregation immediately.
Okay.
Your Excellency, you are
The affair?
I have to go. Look forward to seeing you again.
Farewell, my lord.
I hate the tonal shifts like that. But yeah, that was predictable. That was exactly how that was going to happen. Yeah, not surprising at all. On the other hand, fine. I have no problem with this. You're lucky we do not declare war on the congregation itself. Okay, well, say when. Because I certainly look forward to the war that is inevitable here, because we will have forged an alliance with two of your major enemies. And you threatened war against us as well directly, so... Yeah, I don't see the... I do not see the Bridge Alliance... Under these circumstances, I do not see the Bridge Alliance remaining on this island after all this. Oops, what have I done? What have I done? What have I done? There we go. But yeah, I do think that relations between the Bridge Alliance and literally everyone else are going further and further and further south at this point. And there's not much to do, not much to be done about that. It's simply how things are going. I will say, though, they are by far, hands down, no question, my least favorite of the factions of this game. The single one that I would that if I had to not make a deal with one of them, glad it was them. I'm glad we're not leaving behind the coin guard, or at least very useful. The other factions I just genuinely like. Natives are a mixed bag, obviously, but their current High King is good. Good man. We helped pick him, after all. Alright, let's see. Let's see if Ptolemy is willing to help.
Your Eminence, I salute you.
Sir Desarde, what can I do for you?
Do you remember I thought that someone must have been responsible for the attacks you sustained?
Yes, you thought that this guardian who sent us the animals couldn't have been acting alone.
And I was right, sadly.
You're hesitating. Are you afraid of my reaction?
Indeed. As the person responsible is none other than my cousin, Constantine.
Does this mean that the congregation has decided to wage war on us? And thanks to which obscure alliance has your cousin been able to manipulate?
That's a fair
these
assumption,
creatures?
but no.
Constantine acted alone, and he betrayed us as much as he betrayed you, believe me. As for the way he manipulated these creatures, do you remember that my cousin was sick?
Absolutely. And it is said that his recovery was the result of a rather suspicious miracle. Are you telling me that your cousin has made a pact with the demons of this island?
Something like that. He was cured by a Donegat of the island who performed a bonding ritual. But the power he received from this made him thirsty for more, and he bonded himself to other places, thus gaining control over the guardians who were protecting these sacred places.
But why attack us? Did his madness make him forget about our alliance?
His thirst for power is making him want to control the island entirely by himself. And I know that for this purpose he will soon attack the natives' main sanctuary on the volcano. I won't stand a chance against all the creatures he's taken control of. And I need some help. Others have already joined me. But we also need the support of Thélème. Having a common enemy should help us forget all the differences that have been opposing us.
What differences?
The
We've been
idea
fine.
that we would protect the sanctuary from an insular demon is completely insane. But you have helped us several times, and I trust your judgment. You can count on our help. My men will fight by your side.
Thank you, Your Eminence. Thanks to your wisdom, we have a chance to prevail. I must leave you.
Naturally, Your Excellency.
I mean, yeah, even assuming that Enon Milfrictamen is... So this actually becomes... Okay, so this is actually where the theology here becomes, I think, very interesting. And once again, I think I'm led to some ideas that Erica, you've explored somewhat, to some degree at least. Obviously not in the same way, but vaguely similarly, in the setting of your D&D setting, where Enon Milfrictamen does not seem to be... I don't know how exactly to say this. I want to say this very precisely. But Enon Milfrictamen does not seem to be evil, malicious. I'm not even quite sure if it can be said to desire worship, which would make it evil to a degree, in a sense, right? It would be idolatrous, roughly speaking. It would be encouraging and demanding others commit idolatry, which would be leading others to grave evil. Excuse me. I think it is plausible to say that Enon Milfrictamen is the land. And to put this in a monotheistic context, because I think we can, I think this can be placed into perfectly well, coherently into a monotheistic context. Being the land, we have something like a restricted pantheistic conception of a deity, but a small d deity, or small g god. An intermediary power between God proper, that than which no greater can be conceived, creator of the world, etc., and creation. And minor creatures such as ourselves. So we have what is essentially a creature. A creature which is significantly greater than humans in power, and may even be worthy of veneration. Although I don't know about its moral character. That might be a bit of a stretch. It may also have been twisted to some degree and led astray somewhat, we can say, by, especially perhaps by worship, being actively worshipped by all these natives. That can itself lead to sort of distortions of its, if nothing else, its self-perception, things like that. If it is a finite, corruptible being. And that being the case, if that is the case, then what we have is something akin to an angelic force, which is good by nature but may be corrupted, and that power is being stripped away by a further lesser being, who thinks of it as divine in the really proper sense. That being Constantine, he wants to be not just maybe I could be misreading. Actually, no. I do think he only wants to be a god. I don't think he wants to be God. I think he wants to have absolute power and control over Tir Fradee. I don't know if his ambitions at the moment go further than that. I don't think he has ambitions to all of creation. Excuse me. Yeah, I don't think he goes to quite the satanic yet. So, like I said, I think that it is reasonably would be the term. Reasonably compatible, I guess I should say, between a sort of monotheistic framework, the kind of framework that we would know from natural reason about any created world, and something like this, where there is some kind of spiritual being which is the land, which is the island of Tir Fradee, which is this land in particular that must be respected and cared for, and can be manipulated, and can do good and do evil, that sort of thing. It's a creature like us, broadly speaking, but far, far, far more powerful. And thinking of it as God proper is a kind of idolatry. And again, that seems to be part of the problem with the natives' view of things, and where I think that the whole San Mateus or Saint Mateus synthesis view between Ptolemy, which is broadly speaking monotheist, and the natives, where that can actually, I think, bear a lot of fruit.
When you see Vat,
may even bear fruit for
give
the
him my
homeland,
thanks.
for the continent.
If it weren't for him, one of my friends would probably be dead, poisoned.
That is the task of the Donegada, helping others when they are in need. I'm glad he could help.
I came to ask for your help in stopping my cousin, Dunkus. Did you hear about the attacks of creatures led by strange guardians throughout the island?
Yes, Darren sent a messenger to tell me about it.
My cousin was sick, and to cure him, Katasak used the bonding ritual on him. But the power he received from it made him mad, and he started bonding himself in other places. He transformed his guardians each time, and used them to attack those he considers to be his rival.
What you're telling me is terrifying. Katasak and Devoshtire should never have bonded him. Your cousin is breaking the balance. He's consuming, and will only want to consume more.
Indeed. Enonmil Frictamen warned me that Constantine was now targeting the sanctuary at the heart of the island. I cannot fight him alone. I already convinced some other factions to support us, but I also need the help of your people. Because we must all stand together to stop the threat that is weighing on the island.
Your will to create an alliance between all the peoples on this island is wise and noble. And the call of Enomil Frictamen cannot remain unanswered. We will be by your side in the battle. I am not a fighter, but Dedra will lead our warriors. And I would also like for you to take this weapon. I pray it will be useful in the fight that is coming.
Thank you, Dunkus.
Don't thank me.
Peacemaker mace.
You managed to earn my people's trust. And you fight for a cause that affects us all. May the earth support each of your steps. And may the volcano give you its strength.
I must admit that I expected Dunkus to be more angered when he learned what Constantine had done.
He's a sage amongst sages. Even amongst the Donegada. Enonmir Frichteman speaks in his ear. I think he already knew what was happening, even before we came to...
That confirms it. I made the right choice. Tir Fradee couldn't have a better High King.
Well, glad that was confirmed. Let's see. I definitely can't... Wow, that is a stick with a rock. Strength 5. How is it? Okay, she can't even use it. Can Kurt? No. No one can use it. Fine. Oh well. Yeah, Eric, is this that line right there? Yeah, that is the dev saying, yes, good job. Correct choice. She says, you don't get that line if you choose either of the other leaders to be High King. That makes sense. Alright, inform Glendon. Like Glendon. Like Glendon. And where's Glenda? The game literally tells you, good job, you picked the right answer. Yeah. Yeah, that's kind of... I don't know. I don't love that, but I get it. I don't love that, but I get it. I get why they're doing that, why they did that. Journey has loaded. Go. There's still a loading screen, though. It's not right. Okay, Glendon. Oh, he's the leader of the Donegada, the guy who hated choosing the High King. Right, okay.
Hello, Glendon.
Birt Tirtomadon Olmenawi. What can I do for you?
Okay.
To tell you that men are going to come all the way to the sanctuary. Some Renaigse.
I thank you for coming to warn me in person. But our High King has already spoken to me.
How did he beat me here?
I am disgusted to welcome warriors of the faraway island. But the decision is not mine.
I mean, sorry,
and
I
in
guess.
truth, we do not have the choice, do we?
No. It is all of Tirfredi and Enon Milfrichtemen that's in. We have need of every able warrior to protect them. You need to prepare yourself as well. I fear that you will not be spared.
We will fight, have no doubts. Because such is our duty and our will. These are our lands that are attacked.
I have no doubt. Good luck, Glendon.
May the rocks give you their toughness. You shall need it more than everyone else. Can I do anything else for you?
I must leave.
Not now.
Goodbye.
Qua awelam seg.
Okay. That's it. Constantine's hideout. Yeah, we're not going to finish this. But yeah, Constantine's hideout. That is in, that's near New Serene, isn't it? I think. Ravel. Hello. Why have I been having so many loading screens and things lately? It's weird. Alright. Yeah, New Serene. Let's go. We are beginning the end. We're only half an hour in. I was honestly kind of expecting at least the ones that I didn't have maxed out friendship for, like the Coin Guard. I was expecting some kind of a quest to get them to help or something. Who do we have? Who's our Kurt and Ciora? Yeah, our good old Kurt and Ciora. It's always got to be Kurt and Ciora. They're kind of my go-to team, really. Okay. Back, here we go. Alright. Let's find this place. Huh? Oh, it's up there? Oh, hey look, it's labeled. Okay, well, that works. Constantine's secret hideout. I wonder if that could be his secret hideout. It's probably his secret hideout. Thanks, I gotta run. A little busy. Oh god. At this point, even the game wants to end itself. Yeah, this is... Man, having to... having Constantine be the big bad evil guy of the game. Kind of. I'll get into why I think kind of. But having Constantine be basically the big bad evil guy of the game is like a super downer. Super downer ending. But we'll see. Hopefully we get, hopefully things turn turn up well, even if it winds up being somewhat bittersweet. It'll be at least something, I hope. But I also will say, relatedly, oh, that's him. Sneak snonk, I guess. Relatedly, though, I think I would say, yeah, Constantine is the big bad evil guy.
Constantine indicated in his note shouldn't be very far.
He has guards that are very loyal to him. There's a chance they'll be protecting his hideout.
Yeah, there's a degree to which that Constantine is the big bad evil guy. Yes, fine.
Move away! Things are about to get dicey!
Okay. But honestly, because I'm rather hostile to a particular faction of this game, in case you didn't notice, I also think that even more so than Constantine, I really have to say, let's give everyone some armor. I really have to say that the Bridge Alliance and Dr. Asili, even more so than Constantine, is the real villain, so to speak. They are, after all, the ones that poisoned Constantine, gave him Malachor in the first place, without which none of this would have happened at all. Why am I still collecting things? It's a compulsion at this point, really. Ooh, spooky creatures, huh? Okay. Yeah, they've got that evil about them. Okay, that's weird. He set up kind of some kind of a shrine, including with a bunch of human skulls, including one wildly oversized. Oh, lamp? Oh, wrong lamp. Which one's my lamp? That one. I never remember to use the lamp, just because I can pretty much see.
Constantine has marked several places on this map. I recognize some of them. They are sacred places for the natives, places of connection.
Okay, so more places that he's planning on doing the ritual, looks like. According to my calculations, by performing linking rituals in Credgwin and Vedvilvi, Inanmil Frictimen could be sufficiently weakened and I sufficiently powerful to fight him. I cannot wait to annihilate this senile old god. That's not good.
This place, this journal.
That's not good.
My poor Constantine, you have completely lost your mind. What are you hoping to achieve with these rituals?
No Donegad has ever done such a thing. It goes against the balance that we are defending. Enon Milfrichteman was right. Your cousin wants power. He is feeding from the strength of Tyr Fredi.
So much so that he's threatening Enon Milfrichteman himself. He wants to take his place. To think he's been plotting this absurd plan for weeks. He even used us to achieve it. The intruder in the sanctuary was certainly sent by him to scout the place. We'll need to gather allies if we're going to stop him. But we will also have to weaken him and break apart the bonds that he's established.
I don't know exactly how these things work. And unless you do, we're gonna need help. How about Dunkus? Mev scares me a little.
You're right. Let's go and find it.
All right. So we need Dunkus' help to undo as many of these connections as we can, if that's possible. That also could mean that... I mean, it's seeming more and more like this is not exactly a case of... a case of Constantine being possessed or controlled or by anything or anything like that. This seems to be far more like he literally has just gone mad with power. And because of that, it seems far more likely that we're just going to have to stop him. Now, again, we can at least hope that stopping him can be done at least in part by sufficiently weakening him so that he has no way of furthering his plans, and so that he will have no choice but to back off. Right? I don't know, though. I don't know. He may be too far gone, which is the other problem. The interesting thing is that no Done God has ever done this. That's weird to me. I'm going to switch. Okay. I want to bring Petrus.
Child, what can I do for you?
No.
I'll see you later, Father.
Actually, you know what?
Yeah, my child.
Should I bring Petrus? No, yeah. No. Should I bring Petrus for the end stretch, or should I bring Kurt? I'm definitely bringing Siora. He's definitely the most relevant here. Should I bring Petrus or Kurt? I can do fine combat-wise with either. For now, I'll just keep Kurt, but I'm open to changing that. Anyway, yeah, it's odd that this has never been attempted before, because it seems to me the implication, at least. Gosh, pardon me again. The implication, at least, is that any Done God could do this. Any Done God could do this. It's weird that this has never happened. It almost strikes me as a little bit too much of that whole noble savage kind of archetype, where the innate sinfulness of fallen man is ignored for the sake of nice, friendly, peaceful natives living in harmony with the world type of thing, which is kind of shoddy storytelling.
When you see Vad,
I don't know.
Give him my thanks. If it weren't for him, one of my friends would probably be dead, poisoned.
That is the task of the Done God. Helping others when they are in need.
Okay.
As I've told you before, my cousin bonded himself in many places before he decided.
You did tell me, and you must know that by doing so, he has acquired a power that no Done God has ever...
That is why I need your help. We need to break some of his bonds in order to weaken him.
Rest assured, all the Done God will answer to the call of their Hoi King. And with their help, we will heal the wound your cousin has opened. However, to accomplish this, it is I who will need your help.
What can I do?
During the ritual, the one who is bonding himself spills some of his blood near the base of a stone. And this blood summons a guardian. The guardian lifts the stone so that it may serve as an anchor point for the bond. The only way to break this bond is to have a guardian topple the stone. We will be able to do it, but these rituals take a long time. Too long to be done quickly. So, in the meantime, you must prevent your cousin from drawing magic from the place. Here, take these seeds and plant them at the bottom of your cousin's bonding stones. These plants grow very fast, and their roots will prevent him from drawing the strength of Tifrat. However, you must be careful, because the Guardians corrupted by him will come to defend.
Thank you, Duncan.
And thank you for wanting to stop your... Don't worry. I will send my people to finish the work of the plants I have.
Interesting. Very interesting. Is there one here? There's not one here, is there? No, of course not. Why would there be? Had to be way too convenient. Alright, let's travel where to first. Let's go to the close one first. Vidvelvier. Wait. That one first. It's closer. Not by much, but it's closer. Time is of the essence here. Even though that is mechanically not the case, but whatever. Alright. Let's go. Yeah, mechanically that's definitely not the case. That kind of bugs me a little bit. I wish the travel time stuff actually made a bit more of a difference. But it really doesn't, like, at all. There's no difference made by these, like... By that was an 18-hour travel time? That did, that made basically no difference to the plot.
Access the stone now and plant Lucas's seed.
Hey, let's do that. Where? Where's the stone? Up there? Or here? Here it is.
Look! The plant seems to be growing extremely fast. The Donegada of Duncas's clan are sure to be here soon to finish breaking the bond.
There we go. Alright. Nice. Interesting that it seems like, at least the way I'm looking at it, that it wasn't just that it was it grew these roots, but that it replaced the kind of sickly reddish I don't know, Malachor-ish roots that had been sort of representing this bond to Constantine. Neat. Okay. A day and a half travel. Once again, it's like that. It's that whole things taking a gratuitously long time, but having no real appreciable effect on gameplay or story. All right. Bugs me a little bit, but I understand. My assumption is that it was intended to have been implemented as an important thing, but it didn't wind up being. What is that? Little cairns of some kind. Oof. There we go. That is armor.
It's dead. Now let's plant the seed Dunkus gave us at the base of the raised stone.
Okay. Well, we leveled up finally. Ugh. That is a nasty looking twisted beastie. Alright, let's see. We have 2 skill points, which means we can finally equip long blades. Not that we're going to, but we can. New skill, no new attributes or talents, but okay. Alright, cool. That over there. Yeah, see that? Ooh, God, that's real. That's all like fleshy and stuff. Freaky.
Look, the plant seems to be growing extremely fast. The Donegada of Dunkus's clan are sure to be here soon to finish breaking the bond.
Assume that'll take a little while. Be careful. Beyond this point, you will not be able to continue other ongoing quests. Oh yeah, so this is a very obvious point of no return, but that's fine because this is literally our only side quest. That said, I am going to make a separate save. I suppose we're supposed to go back to Dunkus? I guess. Oh, no, just gather your companions. So, gather companions at the campsite? I suppose. Can I do that? No. Okay, so I actually have to go here. Which, again, takes nearly a full day of travel. Alright, so yeah, I guess I'll use Kurt and Siora for the endy bit. Let me see if there's any long blades that I can maybe use instead of my current little saber thing. No. Too high of agility to use. It's cool looking. Real cool looking. Really like it. But I can't use it. And it's also behind my picture, so unfortunately you guys can't see these. Let me scooch. Temporarily. Wait for it. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. OBS froze a little. Oh gosh. Really hope you guys can... Hope this doesn't... break my stream. There it is. Alright, I'm just gonna come over here for now. That'll be fine. Alright. So... It's really cool looking. Anyway. No. It's an axe. One-handed. Really cool. Nope, can't use it. Heavy weapons. Don't have the agility. Xander de Vesp's rapier, really cool. Can't use it. I can. It's strictly worse in every way. Not in every way, but in the way that matters. No, okay. Nothing I can use. Fine. Anyway. Onward. That's a little disappointing, but it's okay. Alright, where do I gather my companions? Right, just right here? Yes.
How are you feeling, my child? What you are about to do is difficult.
Don't make it harder than it has to be, Petrus. Fighting against your cousin isn't pleasant, but it's the only logical thing to do.
A nicer way of saying he has no choice.
Indeed. I must stop Constantine, regardless of what it may cost me. Not only to obtain an antidote to the Malachor, but also to save this island.
I have learned many things by your side, and thanks to you, I was able to give my mother back to the earth. I won't forget this. And this is my land, my people. I will be by your side. You will not go through this ordeal alone.
What's happened to Constantine is regrettable. But you're doing what must be done. You're a good person, Greenblood. And you can count on your old master of arms to protect you.
We will all be with you. After all, this concerns all of us, doesn't it?
Naturally.
We will be by your side to support you both physically and spiritually.
Thank you. You have been precious allies, and you are proving once more the value of your friendship. Now let's go. It'll be a shame if we arrive too late.
He's been weakened really significantly. There's at least that. He needed not only the power that he had, but additional power, apparently, in order to...
The entrance to the sanctuary has been forced. A fight took place.
Constantine managed to get through. Let's hurry.
Yeah, it seems like he needed additional power that he didn't get. And we even took power away from him in order to hope to face and fight down an Frictamen. That's troubling to me. Primarily troubling because it means that he is willing to keep pressing on, despite what seems like it should be hopelessness. Like, it seems to me that he, at this point, should know that he has no chance of gaining the power that he's seeking. But he's still pursuing it regardless. That is not a good sign. Okay, it's just loot. And those are some dead coin guards, I guess. I mean, I can use that technically. No, it's actually not any better, so never mind. There I go. I went up all the way up to get long blades, and then I'm never gonna use it. Okay. The gang's all here.
Disarde! Oh, I was starting to think that we would all be dead before your arrival. Your cousin has forced our blockade with a horde of creatures, and they just keep coming. I thought it better to stay here, and stop as many of them as possible, to keep a path open for you to reach.
Thank you. You did well. I'll do everything in my power to catch him and stop him from carrying out his plan. Keep holding on as long as you can. I need to be able to reach him.
Wait, there's a group of creatures coming.
May the Enlightened protect me in this battle. Bit of poison on my blade, and let's go!
Watch out!
Close this richness
There we go.
I'll stay here with them, Greenblood.
He's right. We must help them stop these creatures.
Are you sure? Every minute gained is a minute that allows you to save us.
Thank you both. Lady Afra, I know you know your way around a gun. And Kurt, it will be like the good old days.
Enough with the talking, Greenblood. Go.
And stop Constantine. I'd hate to be doing this for nothing.
In that case, thank you. And good luck to both of you.
It looks like we're going to be gradually siphoning off our companions. I'm assuming as we pass by each of the groups that are associated with each of them. Like when we get to the reason that Afra stayed here is because, well, she couldn't stay with the Bridge Alliance people because they didn't show up. So she had to stay with Coin Guard. But once we hit the natives, then Siora's probably going to stay behind, and then once we hit the Coin Guard or the Naughts, then Vasco's going to stay behind, etc. That's my guess, at least. Oh, hi.
May the enlightened protect me in this battle. Bit of poison on my blade. Then let's go! Let's see if you can ward off this fight. Close to it, sir.
Okay. I actually don't need to take any of this stuff. Like, at all. But it's old habits. I'm not going to stop now. You know what, actually? I'm going to try and get myself to stop looting. Just because I acknowledge at this point that it is thoroughly meaningless. We're in the end game now. As they say. Ooh. Please tell me? No, they're dead natives. Ooh. Oh, that's... Why do you have ammo? Oh, it's natives and Naughts. Okay. Interesting.
There you are. I was starting to think that we would die here for nothing. Your cousin just passed through here with a horde of beasts, and he keeps sending us more.
We won't hold very long. We're not used to fighting creatures like these.
We are, and we will hold long enough for you to reach the heart, even if we must die in the process. But you must chase him. You must prevent him from performing the ritual at all costs. If Enon Milfrichteman dies, we're all doomed.
I'm well aware of that, believe me. But here come some more beasts. To arms!
So, if Constantine basically becomes Enon Milfrichteman, that functionally means that, what, we have just basically a complete incompetent in charge of the balance of the island. Something like that, right? Okay.
Wait. I'll stay with my people.
And I'll stay with her. One blade more can't hurt.
We need to prevent the beasts from following your tracks.
Yeah,
we could use some help here, to be honest.
I wouldn't have put it that way, but the Moridigan isn't wrong.
You see? Over and done.
Moridigan? I guess that means...
And may the volcano give you its strength.
Well, good luck.
Is that Welsh? That's Moridigan. Or... It's something Celtic. Like, Mar is some kind of Celtic root for sea. I can't place it. I don't know Celtic languages. I don't actually know Celtic languages, but I know some root words, and I know pronunciation and stuff like that. So it sounds to me... Okay, done so. Okay, well, lamp is on. It doesn't seem to matter, but... More, looks like more coin guard? Or is this Taleme? Oh yeah, no, it's Taleme. Taleme.
There you are. Praise the enlightened.
Really, I'm gonna go all by myself?
Has already reached the heart. Our other allies informed me. They are also trying to stop the creatures.
What do you intend to do?
Pursue him all the way there and do everything I can to stop him.
In that case, may the enlightened keep you in his divine... Oh no. More beasts are coming. Be prepared!
Yeah, okay. Where? Oh, from over there. Okay. You stop. You stop. Ow.
This time it's my turn. I'm staying with my people.
I knew you'd say that.
Well, I wasn't going to let the young ones get all the glory.
Your help would be a blessing, Father.
You see? You should go now, my child. Be careful. We are all praying for your success.
Thank you, Petrus. Be careful too.
I think this is fine, right? I mean, my health and stuff is up in the corner, but it's just my health and stuff. It's not that important. Oh well. I'm gonna leave the camera up here for now. My face cam. If it gets bothersome, feel free to anybody let me know if it works better somewhere else. Nothing there. Oh, this was that super long... That right there was the shortcut. That was the shortcut that we could have taken. That was the one we took last time. Ah, irritating. But okay, fine, fine. Here we go. Switch to the other side? Sure. Back over here. There we go. Better? A little better? Yeah, it's just my, yeah, experience and targeting stuff. Enemy information. Okay, well, here we go. Also save. Damn it, I didn't save. I know it auto-saved very shortly ago, but that's not good enough. Oh, that's true. Yeah, you're right. Crap. Too late. What is that? Oh, I can't save now. Ah! Can I save? No, I can't save during the fight. Okay. Ah. Ah. Didn't work really. That worked. I just have to time it right. Oh, jeez. Oh, this is the thing that chased me the last time. That's right. Okay. I didn't pay much attention to what was chasing me. I didn't have enough attention. Ah! Like borrow. Ooh, okay, okay.
No! Stop! Step back.
Not like borrow. Borrow. I think
I do
borrow.
not desire your death. I'm sorry.
Why? Why have you done this?
But for you. For us. So that we may live free at last.
This makes no sense. Constantine, it's madness.
You don't understand because you're still attached to the old world. This old, dying world which, to survive, has betrayed, used, and manipulated us and would not have hesitated to kill us.
Perhaps, but
I've seen death, cousin. And I understood the vanity of it all. My father's ruses just so he could earn more power. The political bowing and scraping to preserve corrupted nations. I have been offered unrivaled power, allowing me to get rid of this. To send the old world back to its inevitable death, and to build something new here. Something new. And this new world is my gift to you. You and I could be its new, the immortal and benevolent monarchs.
He himself is the incarnation of the old world he is speaking of. He has its vices and its poison. For his own immortality, he's prepared to destroy everything around him, to break millennia of cycles. I implore you, flesh of my land, think of all the lives that will come to an end to feed his pride.
Don't listen to this old god. He's like all the others, after all, clinging to life. All you have to do is to bind yourself here, with me, and we will be gods together, forever.
Okay, so here's the big ending choice. Really? Okay, so Erica says the whole game hits harder when you play as a female, I feel. Like Constantine pleading with femme disarte feels way more emotionally raw. I can see that. I can see that. Although, I don't know, it seems like the brothers in all but blood connection is very, very strong. Very, very real here. And so this is the danger. This is the curse of every revolution. And as something of a revolutionary myself, I might say, at least ideologically, I notice this, and I'm cautious of this same error, which is noticing what is wrong with the world, because there is a great deal wrong with the world, and becoming destructive rather than constructive. Looking at the world and seeing it as something to be torn down so that the right things can be rebuilt. It is the progressive revolutionary rejection of the world because of its flaws rather than rejection of the flaws because of their flaws and because of the world. And it is the temptation to see the world as itself evil, rather than seeing the world as being innately good, but twisted and away from the way that it ought to be. And if you see that if you see the world itself, the world around you, the institutional structures and everything around you as innately evil, so flawed that it is evil itself, then the only response to that is to destroy it. And it is that it's why we see the innate tendency of French-style revolutions to destroy and leave nothing in its place, to destroy the institutions that existed rather than to reform them, or even rather than to supplant and replace them. Rather, they destroy. And that is their key function. And then the process of reconstruction always turns into backbiting and further destroying, because the impulse, the impetus that led to the destruction of the old corrupt system is merely hatred. Now, hatred of evil, fine. Yes, there can be benevolent motives to this. But because it's innately destructive, because it is, not to sound too trite and kitschy, because it is hatred rather than love, hating the flaws because you love the world rather than hating the world because you see the flaws. The latter is this sort of French-style revolutionary impulse that we see in the French Revolution, that we see in the Bolsheviks, the thing we see in even to today, that we see in every manner of, broadly speaking, progressive revolutionary group that sees structures of power that are corrupt and flawed and wishes to disintegrate them rather than wishing to correct their flaws. Even if there is an institution which is itself innately evil, which, I mean, as a somewhat revolutionary myself, I would say the state as such is innately evil. It represents a corruption. The difference is that I see that as a corruption that parasitizes on society, which is a good thing. And that society, as it is, has this corruption, this parasite, latched onto it, breaking it apart. I want to heal those flaws, those cracks that are caused by this corrupted institution. This, not the corrupted institution, this institution of corruption, let's say. Whereas what Constantine is here observing is a world of institutions and social relations that is fundamentally flawed and then needs to be destroyed before something else could be built anew. And it's the difference, I would say, between, to use another media metaphor, to mix my media metaphors perhaps, it's the difference between Thanos in Infinity War versus Thanos in Endgame. The sort of earlier Thanos in Endgame, who gets to sort of try again, is... Back up, go backwards. The Thanos we see in Infinity War, who wanted to snap and destroy half the population of the universe, so that the universe could then grow properly, prune the excess, that sort of thing, is this kind of developmental conservative style revolutionary, the kind that is relatively good. The problem with Thanos under that view was that he was wrong about his methods. He failed to recognize that his methods were, one, grievously and heinously wrong, and then ultimately ineffective. There's all sorts of reasons for this. And again, I'll put a couple of... come on. Oh no, my pen isn't working. I'll put a couple of great videos on the problems with Thanos. Need a different pen. Just ran out of ink. From the Foundation for Economic Education, that focuses on the mistakes that he made, rather than focusing on the heinous evils of mass murder. But that aside, setting that aside, the difference, of course, the difference for our purposes, for our set of analysis, is that the latter, or the I guess we should say the earlier Thanos, the one in Endgame, who gets to sort of try again, takes this form of revolutionary change, this kind of destructive first and foremost kind of revolutionary change, where he wants to destroy and remake the entirety of the cosmos, because the entirety of the cosmos is fundamentally flawed, destructive, wrong, ill-wrought, and out of a kind of immense hubristic pride, replace it with his own vision of what reality ought to be. which again we see here in Desarde, or not in Desarde, not in Desarde. Well, I mean, if we'd make that choice, then yes, in Desarde. But that we see in Thanos, and that we also see in Satan, in the fall of Satan, this kind of hubris that I, Thanos, or Constantine, or Satan, whichever, that I know better than God, but what would make the world good, and that I can make a better world. It's not only wrong because it involves the destruction of good, or the pursuit of what one takes to be better, but further, it is a kind of an unimaginable hubris. It is a kind of idolatry, placing oneself above God. But Eric was saying there are big bro feels now. Yeah. Which really, it's oh yeah, Erica, you summarized it much better than I was about to. So female Desarde is Constantine wanting to protect his sister from the world. Male Desarde is Constantine wanting to rule together as brothers against the world. Yeah, I think that's a huge difference. And I think that this version of it, he comes off as far more sinister. Because the impulse of camaraderie can be twisted. And can be... The impulse of camaraderie, especially like between brothers, that sort of thing, whether that is blood brothers or otherwise, this sense of camaraderie can be twisted far more easily. The honor among thieves trope, right? The idea that vicious people can work together if they set aside their viciousness when dealing with each other, that sort of thing. That it can be far more easily twisted for evil. Now, I will say, Plato disagreed. Plato thought that vicious people, truly vicious people, could not work together. They had to be fundamentally alone, and so this sort of interchange was impossible, or at least would fall apart. And I think it would ultimately. This would have to. But the other impulse is somewhat more, at least apparently benign, the protective instinct of the big brother protecting his little sister. It tends to be, at least on the surface, far more benign, but I do think that it can be corrupted to evil to a great degree. I mean, we see it in our society today. We see instances of the protective instinct, protective of others and protective of people we care about, used to inflict grave, terrible evils upon the world, upon not only the people that we wish to protect our loved ones from, but people who indirectly and through no fault of their own would make it dangerous. Look at the COVID policy stuff. I mean, you have people who want to protect people they care about. They want to keep grandma from dying. Fine, but they wind up doing that by tyrannizing and in a lot of cases outrightly killing innocent people. And that's the other version of what we're seeing here, taken to its extreme. Given how mad he is, mad in a probably both a psychological sense and certainly in a moral sense, I think he is unfortunately beyond saving. But the world isn't. And since the only way to save the world is to kill the madman, despite him being our beloved brother, wasn't technically, but our beloved brother for all intents and purposes. Again, this also illustrates, I think, the principle of double effect. That we ought not kill our brothers. That is wrong. Kinslaying is one of the gravest of evils, at least this worldly evils. However, if killing a guilty man, in this case even a brother, is the only way to save the world, then it is a permissible action to take, an action that we foresee negative consequences for. In other words, the death of Constantine. In order to save the world, because what we are doing is we are saving the world. We are not directly, intentionally, and deliberately killing Constantine. Erica says they made the final decision screen really well. You can just barely see the tree through the smoke and dust. Constantine and Desarde are framed perfectly. Yeah, they're just right there. This is just gorgeous. It'll make a good screensaver, honestly. Terrifying, but very good. Hang on a sec. Let me do something real cool. Hold on. Do that. Let me do that. And let me turn off my microphone. And just for like a minute or two, I'm gonna let this be. Not capturing my mouse. Perfect. All right. Love it. Oop. Oop. All right. The only thing we can do.
Come. What a shame. Good night, sweet prince.
After the fall of Constantine, my young student managed to establish stronger links between the old nations and the natives. Some of their Donegada were even invited to the continent, and with their help, it slowly became a land filled with life again. And for the first time in a long while, the number of cases of the Malicor is decreasing. Those who bravely fought at Dorhad Genadu were celebrated everywhere. After all, if it weren't for this unlikely alliance, the island would have fallen into Constantine's greedy hand. Sieglinde took Kurt as an advisor, but he insisted on keeping his place alongside his former student and friend, watching his back, as he always had. Siora obtained the title of Marl of the Red Spears alongside her twin. She leads them with wisdom, but often reunites with the one she still calls her Karant. Afra set aside her weapons and went back to her research on the native culture and flora of the island. It is said that she is even writing a book with the help of Dunkas's clan when not visiting her friend. For his bravery, Vasco was awarded the rank of commander. He now travels the sea at the head of a whole fleet, but he often comes back to visit his brother-in-arms. Petrus's ambitions have finally been fulfilled. He obtained the much-coveted title of Cardinal. Despite the responsibilities implied by such a title, he still sometimes visits the one he calls his child. Despite the help Ulan received, which allowed him to restore the importance of the seaside Nemeus, he still had to renounce the role of Marl as he faced the contempt of the other clan. Her friendship with the Renaigse helped Deirdre to overcome her reticence. She willfully accepted to follow the orders of her new High King. Dunkas and his people spent a lot of time with savants and theologians. Patiently, they shared their knowledge of the earth and learnt new techniques from one another. And in so doing, they restored balance between the new world and the old. The natives' hostility towards the Alliance has not diminished, and Governor Byrne is in a delicate situation, especially considering some sordid rumors in Al-Sad regarding the practices of the scholars he protects. The public revelations of St. Matthias's life led to a deep change in Teleme. The Ordo Luminis was dismantled for good, and the missionaries' purpose is now to establish dialogue rather than conversion. Aware that their culture of secrets would lead them to their demise, the Nords changed their methods. They welcomed numerous new recruits amongst them, notably natives. Under Sieglinder's control, the Guard returned to the honorable values that had made its reputation. And they did so all the more easily, now that their shadiest members were out of the picture. Alas, the De Vesp's arrival didn't bring peace. Their scheming left its mark. Some of the people of New Serene still believe the lies they spread. However, the abundance of evidence against Aurelia signaled the end of the De Vesp's ambitions, both on Tir Fredi and the Old Continent, where they were harshly reprimanded by the Council, who relegated them to the status of the...
Right. I think that was a good ending. It goes through pretty much everything. Now, I don't remember if we wound up finding out enough about the origin of the Malachor. Basically, it's that the old world, the land's spirit, the analog to Enel Nefertiti, was basically dead, killed, destroyed. This is extra lore stuff. I don't think we got enough of this. Unfortunately, this is another one of those instances where there's a lot more interesting lore, but that it's not up front. It's not really there. Not the perfect, but yeah, pretty good. Yeah. What did I miss? What was the perfect one that I missed out on? Bridge Alliance being nice? Because I don't care. They can go suck it. Otherwise, though, I don't know. I'm interested. See if there's anything good for anybody else that we missed out on. The origin is basically the old world made their own continental god sick, but it started killing them too. Okay. Yeah, okay. That makes sense. And again, this makes me think that it's... Because it doesn't seem like it's... If it is, as described, that we have seen, it is a kind of poisoning of the land. Because of the decay of the continental god, spirit, whatever. Pollution progress, the ye old pollution or progress is bad. Yeah. It's a very environmental message, I have to say. I don't think it's overall done poorly. But it does bring up something else that I had talked about before, is that progress, especially technological advancement, progress in that sense, and the protection of the environment are in no way contradictory with one another. In fact, the Industrial Revolutions, I guess, led to some of the greatest environmental protections ever seen to an enormous degree. The shift, for example, from wood fuel to fossil fuels led to an expansion of forest land not seen since recorded history. The incredible wealth produced by increasingly effective production techniques and trade techniques as well, capitalism, broadly speaking, has led to our ability to prioritize environmental protection in a way that we haven't before. That said, here we see a kind of synthesizing of innovations. I'm glad to see they didn't just go the route of, wow, the people of the old world learned all of these wonderful good things from the natives so that they could fix their land and go back to living like they did, and yada yada yada. Glad not to see that. It was a kind of exchange of information because it did manage to emphasize the developments and the knowledge of the old worlders, of the continentals, of the priests and savants, so to speak. And that was combined with and integrated the knowledge of the natives. And that is I think that's a good thing to note. A lot of our technological advancements and a lot of the advancements in especially production techniques do originate from looking at a more holistic way of doing things. For a good example that I was reading about recently is biomimicry in agriculture. That it winds up being more efficient than standard late 20th century sort of style factory farming, to bring different crops and bring different livestock together in something imitating or mimicking their natural environmental patterns. So that, for example, the hoofs of herd animals will churn the ground so that you don't actually have to feed chickens, like at all. They will just eat from the ground that's churned up by like cows or goats or that sort of thing. They don't need feed, like at all. It won't destroy the grass either. And you don't need to harvest hay if you have open fields for livestock and things like that. Now, again, this is under ideal circumstances, and this can be different, and this can be difficult depending and all that, but there's something certainly there, and managing it using modern techniques, and especially things like, modern computing technology and modern fertilizing and all that stuff, combining that with the sort of the lessons we can learn from observing nature directly, nature as nature, not nature as biology, let's say, the kind of combination of knowledge that they're kind of striving for here. I think that there is a great deal to that. There's a great deal to be learned from that. So I am glad to see a kind of synthesis ending. Ironically, given that is my least favorite ending of the Mass Effect trilogy of the 3 endings. But seeing a synthesis under these circumstances is, I think, the right way to go. Especially given the sort of time period in history, and also especially given that that there was a genuine wealth of knowledge from the natives of Tier D that might not have been, that wasn't as prominent in a lot of primitive cultures in the context of the Age of Exploration, in the real world, in real history, and so our real interactions in real human history, where interactions between do that right here in the middle, howdy, our real interactions from real human history were a bit more sketchy, let's say. There were a lot of there was a lot of exploitation on the one end, but then on the other end there was a lot of lack of real contributory knowledge on the side of the more primitive natives. Whereas here, there are genuinely different modes of knowledge belonging to each side that can then therefore contribute. So I thought it was good. I thought overall, to give my sort of short review, I suppose, I thought this was a phenomenal game, especially given that it was a relatively low budget early production from a young studio and everything that came with that. Yeah, I recognize there were some problems in the development stuff, and there were some maybe unimplemented features, especially things like time, like I was talking about earlier. How time interacts with the development of the story, and things like that is, it's not really there. It's made to look like it's there, but it's not really. Same goes with a lot of the traveling and stuff like that. But the characters are really well done. The world building is really well done. With some exceptions, I'd like to see more differentiation between the 3 old world nations and more, if there wind up being more. If that is assuming that this winds up getting a sequel eventually, which I would like to see. I'd like to see a next game for this, whether it's on Tier 4D and more developments here, or whether it's back on the continent. There is a real potential for this world being developed sort of back home, as it were, on the continent. That could be really interesting. So I could see this going in a lot of different directions as a franchise, as a series, that sort of thing. And I'd like to see where it goes, because again, a lot of the little like production problem type things were very, very fixable with a little bit more time, a little bit more money, I suppose. I mean, yeah, facial animations and stuff like that it wasn't great, but I had, thanks to Eric, I will say, I had spectacularly low expectations of things like facial animations. And if you recall, I started this game at the same time when we were playing Dragon Age 2 on Thursdays. And that game has roughly equivalent facial animations, at least for the most part. There's some nicer stuff in cutscenes, but that's rare. And that was, to be fair, that was also a game from, 2012? So, it's 10 years old. And this game was from 2019, 18 or 19. So that's a big gap. Oh, right. Probably my favorite part of this game. My 2 favorite parts of this game. Environmental design and the general aesthetics of the world. I want to separate those 2 out. The environmental design, everything is beautiful. The cities, the landscapes, the design of the way the levels are even laid out makes things both accessible but also adventurous. You can explore without getting hopelessly lost. But then also the sort of aesthetics of the world, this kind of 17th century high fantasy. Or I guess low fantasy technically, because there aren't like elves and dwarves and stuff. But this piratical Age of Sail kind of fantasy series type environment world thing is just really cool, and I wish there were more of this. I wish there were a lot more of this. I guess late Renaissance or Age of Exploration era fantasy. Really cool. Really, really cool. I love it. Anyway, that is Greedfall. That was Greedfall. Thank you all for joining me. This has been a really fun series. I've really enjoyed it. I had a great time with this game. I may revisit it on my own if I feel like 100%ing it or something eventually. Who knows? Time might be a factor for that, but we'll see. We'll see. In any case, like I said, thank you all one more time for joining me. We have to now decide in the next week what I'm going to be playing next on Mondays, what's going to be up next, or if we should switch days or something. On my sort of list, my short list, and I'm open to other suggestions as well, but my short list for the moment is Kingdom Come Deliverance. The only downside of that is that it would mean that we're playing a sort of medieval-esque style game, both on Mondays and Thursdays, at least while we're still playing Inquisition, which should be a while. So that's one of the items, and I really want to play that on stream. I really want to talk about it, and I haven't played it before. But there's the other issue of the kind of tonal similarity. So maybe not. The other options are, I'm thinking about continuing Mass Effect with Mass Effect Andromeda, but that would also mean that we're playing 2 games in the Frostbite engine, both designed by BioWare at very similar time periods with a lot of similar character archetypes and stuff like that on Monday and Thursday, so maybe not. But it is also one sci-fi, one fantasy. There's a lot of thematic differences, a lot to discuss about both, and a lot of cross-referencing to do. So that's an option. For all the crap that it got, I really did enjoy Mass Effect Andromeda. I think we would have a good time on the stream with it. My other option is much older. and that would be going back to Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. Probably doing 1 then 2, both of them. It's a much older game. It's much more plotting. It would involve a lot of me reading and stuff, talking about things as I read, because the main character is not voiced. The protagonist is not voiced. But, on the other hand, it's a great game, and I love some old Star Wars. I never mind talking about Star Wars. I've never minded talking about Star Wars, so that's also something to do as well. That's an option. All of those are kind of on my short list on the table. Those are really my top 3 that I'm thinking about. I'm open to other suggestions, though, like I said. If anybody wants to suggest something to me, especially if it's cheap, or if you want to buy it for me, that's always an option as well. I won't say no. I also did, I'm probably leaning away from it, but I did just pick up Bully, the old Rockstar game from like 2010 or 11. Pretty old. So that's something to think about. I'm probably not gonna want to. I'm not really leaning too strongly towards streaming it. But if everybody wants me to, and everybody who is would suggest it, then maybe I'll think about it. Anyway, deciding for next week, I'll probably put up a poll on the page and in the Discord, and let you guys help me decide. Then also I'll talk about it Thursday. So anyway. Thank you all once more for joining me through this whole journey. And I hope to see you guys Thursday for more Dragon Age Inquisition, and I hope to see you guys again next Monday for whatever it is that comes next. All right. Thank you, everybody. Good night.